So what exactly is lookup functions? Lookup function is something like you generally have data in different sheets. Okay. And you want to fetch information from another sheet. So there should be some common columns. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create two Excel sheets. First sheet, I'll give it as employee. Second sheet name, I'll give it as salary. In employee sheet, I'll add two columns, employee ID. Let's say I'll add a couple of more, employee name, department. Let's say we have some five employee records. Okay. Someone is from IT, marketing, HR, finance, and admin. Okay. Let's say we have five records. And then I'm going to say again, I have some employee ID. And here I have a salary of every employee. This is just a dummy records. Okay. First, take a look at it. Then you try to replicate that from your Excel sheet. So basically, now what we have is generally till now you have learned about functions, you have learned about other features of Excel, wherein all the data set, the entire columns are available in same sheet. Now you are learning little bit more complex topics. Okay. Now data is in different sheets. So there is an employee sheet, all employee details are mentioned here, and there is a salary sheet, all salary details are mentioned here. Now, one thing which is common in these two is employee ID. Okay. So what I want to know is for this employee ID one, I know the salary is 25,000. I want to know what is his name? What is the employee name? What is the department he belongs to? So what I can do is I can manually go here. I can say that employee ID one, the name is A. I can just type in A here. That's how I'll generally search and add the data, right? But with the help of lookup functions, we can automatically retrieve it. For to start off this example, it will have only five records. Now, once you learn it, then we'll work on records which has around 10,000, more than 10,000 records. Your formula will automatically find information from another sheet. Clear on the theoretical explanation? No. Generally, when you work with data structures, there are two type of data structures. The first one is vertical, second one is horizontal. Vertical means everything is columnar. So everything has a column name and then the values are there. Typically 90% of your data set, you work on vertical data sets as a data analyst. Sometimes you also work with horizontal data. Horizontal data looks typically like this. Okay, everything here, row is a column, right? So this is employee ID, all values are distributed over here. But here it's a column and here it's a row. So this is why that's why this is called as horizontal and this is called as vertical. There are some scenarios where you may also work with horizontal data, generally very rare, but you should also be aware on how to handle this data. Now, most of the developers would try learning a HLOOKUP data and end up writing, wrong results. Instead, my feedback for such scenario is when your data is basically horizontal, you have already learned about transpose function. All you can do is copy this data and put it as a vertical format, just using this transpose. This becomes easier for you also to read it, also to write a formula. Instead of learning multiple formula, you can learn one. Transpose. Let me select here, Control C. When you right click, you have an option here called transpose. So transpose is nothing but rows to columns or columns to rows. Both options are available. Okay. Okay. Now you learned about data structures. Typically in Excel, we have two types of data structures, vertical or horizontal. Whenever you want to apply lookup formulas for vertical, we call it as VLOOKUP, one of the most extensively used function. And second one is HLOOKUP, horizontal lookup. Okay. Now let's see how we can write the formula here. So please take a look at the screen. Now for what I want is I want employee name, right? I'll say is equal to VLOOKUP. So I have told again, right, in our all previous learning of formulas or functions, parameters are important. Every function has its own parameter. Some will have two, some will have three. For you, it is important to understand what these parameters are. Only this can help you learn formula. Nobody else can come and teach you formulas as long as you understand what each of these parameters are all about. Okay. First one it is asking is lookup value. What do you want to find? I want to find this value, right? Employee ID. So remember, whenever you are writing VLOOKUP formula, your first parameter is what is that common column which is available in both sheets? Employee ID is common. So I'm selecting that cell address which is A2, comma, table array, which means where is your data available? For this employee ID, where is the data available? Data is available in this sheet, right? What you have to do is you have to select all the data, including your column headers, something like this. What I'm doing is I'm just selecting all the data set. See, the moment I selected, it is giving sheet name is employee A1 to C6. So this is A1 till C6. So it is selecting data till there. And then we have to give comma. The last parameter we have is column index number, which means once if this employee ID is matched, what is the other column you want to fetch from this table? So if I'm finding this employee ID, I want employee name in return, right? So if I want employee name in return, you have to remember the position of column. This is position 1, 2, 3, like that it goes on. So employee name is present in position number 2. So I want if employee ID is successfully found in this sheet, I want employee name in return. So what I will do is I'll just type 2. Column index number means which column you want in the result set. Okay, I'm giving 2, comma. This is the most important parameter. How do you want to search this information? Exact match is the most preferred option because every letter by letter it will check. So always give exact match. Either you can select from this drop down or you can type 0. Both are Boolean values, so it's one and the same. Even you can select from here, it is false, or you can even type in manually 0 and close the bracket. So it has successfully found that employee ID 1 and we got the employee name, which is A. Now, just in case if I don't want employee name, I want department. Now, what is the position of department? 3. So what I'll go is I'll change 2 here and put 3 and he'll enter. You can see for that employee ID 1, the department is ID. Like that, if I had 20 more columns, if I want the 19th column, if I type 19, whatever is there in the 19th position, you will get that in the results. Okay. Can you go ahead and try, create these sheets? First is this employee sheet. Oh, it's on. Is it? It's coming for me. It's on. Okay, done with the employee sheet. Today's day is day 6. Okay, shall we go to the next sheet? Salary sheet. This is how the salary sheet looks. Is it working?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay. So now what I will do is I have got the employee name for the first employee ID. If I double click this formula, you can see here there is something which is happening here. If you look at the address for table range, it is changing from A1C6 to A2C7. What is A2C7? It is selecting data like this till here. This is A2, right? A2C7. C7 is here till here, right? Then if I go to again another cell, it is saying A3 to C8. What is A3? A3 is this one to C8. Though I don't have data, why is it happening? Because remember in our functions, when we drag the formula address will change. So now, just for an example, okay, what I will do is I'll give employee ID as 5 here. So you're getting the results. So 5 is E, right? I'll give vice versa. Here I'll give 1. You see answer is giving as NA. So I'm trying to search employee ID 1 in this particular cell, but my VLOOKUP formula says NA because here the table address is A5 to C10. What is A5? A5 is here to C10. Since we did not lock our cell in the beginning, it is automatically changing the cell address for this particular table range. So whenever we are applying VLOOKUP formula, we need to lock this cell address. I'm going to select these two cell address and just press F4. Okay. Now I'll drag this formula. Now you can see it. Even if I enter employee ID 1 here, I'm still able to find because cell address is locked. We have data only till here. We don't have to select data till here, right? So we are locking our cell entire table range. This is the second parameter. You can select this entire range and press F4 to lock the cell. So last session, I guess we learned about how to lock the cell. Same thing we are doing now here. Okay. Now, any cell which you change your employee ID, it will automatically give you results. Even if I type 5 here, for that employee ID 5, this is the employee. Remember, this is the second requirement for your lookup formulas. The table array, which is a second parameter, you need to make sure you are going to lock this cell, else your results will be incorrect. Can you go ahead and lock the cell? Yeah. You press F4. Those who have completed, write the same lookup formula in another column and fetch department. Yeah. Press F4. Press a function button and F4. Hmm? Second parameter, whatever is the second parameter, entire thing. Okay. So I'm writing department lookup value is employee ID, comma, table. This is my table. Here only I'll lock the cell, comma, I need column 3, which is in department. I need exact match 0. Hit enter. Everything is same. Copy the same formula in the formula bar. Control C, copy. Paste it in another cell. No need to write again. Remove 2 and add 3. That's it. Done. Shall we move to the next one? There is another limitation to your VLOOKUP formula. VLOOKUP is a forward direction formula. Okay. What is forward direction? For example, I will remove employee ID from the first column and I'll put the employee ID on the extreme right. Okay. Then your all results are NA because you cannot have your common column name on the right hand side and your result set should not be on the left. So VLOOKUP works in forward direction, which means first lookup value should be present in the first position. Then you can have these two. Okay, it cannot look up in reverse direction. For this employee ID, what was the previous column value? It cannot fetch. That's a limitation in the VLOOKUP formula. From this, whatever is on the right hand side of your VLOOKUP value, you can find anything here. Whatever is on before employee ID, you cannot fetch that with the help of VLOOKUP. That's the limitation of your VLOOKUP formula. Okay, that's why we always specify. Make sure even example, let's say we have data like this. We have city and let's say we have something called designation. Sometimes you get data like this. Sometimes you get data like this. Now you get a requirement for this employee ID. Can you also fetch his designation? Now designation is on the left hand side of the formula, right? Employee ID is present here. Designation is on the reverse left side. We cannot fetch it. So the easiest and quickest resolution is copy this data and put it over here. Okay. Once your data is on the right side, then from here you can count how many columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want designation, just type 4, you will get your designations. Clear? So I'll just mention it here that another, this is not a prerequisite, this is a limitation. Only works on forward direction. Cannot fetch value from left side of lookup value. Lookup value today we have employee ID, tomorrow we can have anything else also. Okay. Let's see what is the error. Okay. Clear on the VLOOKUP formula? Employee and salary, we have it. Shall we go to the next one? I'll share you anyways this. Okay. No need to maintain notes for this one. Okay. Now, same VLOOKUP formula. Let's see how we can write if the data is horizontally stored. So what I'm going to do now is I'll copy this sheet. I've showed this example, right? How to copy the sheet in Excel. So I'll call this as employee horizontal. What I'll do, I'll just copy this data and transpose. I'll make this data in a horizontal form. Now my columns are here. See, for employee ID, if I want to know this is my employee ID, this is employee name. Likewise, I have other columns. Okay, I'll remove city and designation. We don't need it for now. Let's say this is the same data, but stored it in horizontal format. Very difficult to read also, right? So let's see how we can write. Everything is same in HLOOKUP formula. There is no change. Whatever you have written in VLOOKUP, same parameter, same method, everything is same. Okay, is equal to HLOOKUP. Again, here also first thing it is asking is lookup value. Lookup value, I'm just saying I want to search employee ID, comma, where is your data? I'll select this horizontal, select all this data set. Okay, make sure you select all of them. First thing you should do is lock the cell. Basically adding dollar symbol. Okay, let's say I want to know the department name. Department is position available is 3, row number 3. So I'll just give comma 3, comma 0 for exact match. Same information, I get it with the help of HLOOKUP also. Clear? Can you try this? Copy paste this data using transpose function and then write the formula. No, formula is also horizontal. That's why we are using HLOOKUP. First, transpose the data using the transpose function. Don't write manually, okay? Transpose the data using Control T and then write the formula. Yeah. See, when you paste it, right click, there is an option like this, transpose. Is it working? Okay, I'll show it to you. Control C, Control T. Sorry, you're pressing Control T, is it? You're pressing Control V. Just select this option. No, 3 lines are there now. Here, 3 columns are there, 3 lines data. Any doubts on VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP? Those who have done it, open our sample superstore file. Check if we have three sheets in that file: orders, people, and returns. In go to return sheets, and can you remove duplicates? Sample superstore file. You will basically have three sheets in that: orders, people, and returns. Go to return sheets. The return sheet has data for orders which are returned for some reason. They have customer has written the order ID for some reason. So there are duplicates in order ID. I want you to go ahead and remove duplicates from return sheet. No. Order ID, we have only one column called order ID in return sheets. In return sheet, not in order sheet.
Which should we need to find out of?
Returns sheet.
Returns.
Yes. In order ID, you can see duplicates. See here we have a lot of duplicates. How do you know duplicates? You can go to conditional formatting, highlight duplicate values, and figure out if there are no. I think we don't have any duplicates there. Number of records 297, right? For everyone. Okay. Now, if you look at return sheets, these are the order IDs which are returned. We don't know what is the reason they are returned. But for this particular order ID, if I want to know what is the customer city from which he has placed the order, right? So I can just copy this order ID manually and I can go to my order sheet, Control F, and I can search this order ID. For this order ID, if you see here, he's from Michigan, right? Because if you see here, for every order ID, we can know when the order is placed, when the order is shipped. Likewise, we have a lot of information here. Now, let's go ahead and write a VLOOKUP formula to fetch city. From which particular city these customers have placed an order. Now, common column in this one and this one is order ID. So what I will do, take a look at the screen and then you write it, okay? Is equal to VLOOKUP because this is a vertical data. What is your lookup value? This is what my lookup value is, comma. Where is this information available for this order ID? It's available in this sheet. Now, I'll make sure I'm selecting this as my first column. Remember, I said VLOOKUP is a forward direction formula. You should not select from here. Your first column should be your lookup value. Here, our order ID is lookup value. I'm making sure this is my first column. Then I'll select all the data by pressing Control Shift right arrow, Control Shift down arrow. I selected all the data, which is starting from column B till column U, 10,195 records I have selected. First thing I will do is lock the cell. Make sure you select like this and lock the cell. Okay. Sometimes see here, it has not added the dollar symbol for first one, right? Then if this order ID is found, I want city. Now city is in which position you need to count. Let's go from here. Order ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. City is present in position number 9. So I'll just type 9, comma 0. 0 is for exact match. For this order ID, the customer has placed it from Jackson City. Likewise, you can see Los Angeles and so many other details. Ignore this for now. I'll explain why we are getting NA, but we are getting city names as expected for all the order IDs, right? Now, this previous scenario, you had very small subset of data, only 2, 3 columns. Now you have plenty of columns. Only thing you have to remember is the column position, right? Lot of people will get confused. They'll start counting from here. 1, 2, 3. Wrong. You have to start counting from order ID. What is the position of column? Order ID is number 1, number 2, and then it goes on. Then order ID becomes 1. Anyways, ignore this column. Ignore this column. Don't count it. Count it from here. Whichever is your order ID, lookup value is your first column. You don't even have to care. Here, there could be 100 more columns. You don't have to care about that. See, there could be 100 columns here. You don't have to consider it. Consider from here 1, 2, 3, whatever is that till end. Don't even worry about what is available on the left hand side of your lookup carry. Okay. Yes. If your lookup key is order date, then it is 1. If your lookup key is example customer ID, then this becomes 1. Okay. Whatever is your lookup key, that is your first column. Clear? Can you go ahead and write this formula? Let me know if it is not working for anyone, or if I want to, if you want me to repeat anything, please let me know.
Can you repeat it again now once?
Yeah. Tell me where you are stuck. What is one part of thing which you are not able to understand? I'll give some other example.
This is the one. I missed the point and what you are.
You missed the entire VLOOKUP formula?
Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay.
but I'm in hometown. I was traveling, so I missed the class.
Okay, okay, fine. So okay, I'll tell you again. Okay, let them finish once, and then I'll explain it again.
Okay.
So, okay. Those who have completed, can you figure it out why for the second record we are getting NA? Can you troubleshoot and tell me? But do we have any order ID in orders table? That's the same order ID. Do we have it? Can we check?
Order ID is not available in the sheet.
Exactly. Order ID is not available in the sheet. Hence, we are getting NA. NA, you have learned different types of error in Excel. Hash value, hash div, hash NA. Remember in last session, I said to handle any errors and display some meaningful message, we have one function. What is the function to display some meaningful message instead of displaying error? Instead of displaying this hash NA error, I want to display some message, some meaningful. Hmm? Which one? Get time. Get type. No, no. We learned two error handling functions. If error, if NA. If there is an error in your formula, you can display some meaningful message. If error is for any type of errors, if NA is only for NA related error. If this formula has any error, instead of NA, display some message. Right. So what I will do now, I'll type if error. So if this entire formula by any chance is throwing error, comma, I'll say value not found. Instead of throwing some error, I'll say the message as value not found. Now, if I double click this formula, you see here, this guy is not available order ID. Instead of NA, now it is saying value not found. Okay, that's how you get questions in your scenario specific interviews. Okay. So for some reason, your VLOOKUP is throwing an error, NA, and you troubleshooted and you found that really genuinely there is that order it is not present. But we don't want to display as NA. Can you display it as value not found? What is your approach? Right? So you have to choose the right error handling function. Make sure the brackets are correct, comma is correct. I'll display again how to add if error function. This is your formula. All you have to do is equal to first type if error, open the bracket. Leave this entire formula as is. In the end, just give comma, value if error, give in double quotes. Value not found. Clear? Okay. Those who have completed can just take a look at this scenario. Instead of city, I want to fetch product name. What change we need to make in our formula to fetch product name instead of city? We are fetching cities, right? If you go to order sheet, so we have something called product name. What change do we need to make in our formula to get product name instead of city? Exactly. That column number 9 has to be changed. What is the column number we need to give instead of 9? Can you check and tell me? Product name. 15, no? Comma is missing after right bracket, comma. This is single quote, double quotes after that value not found. What is the column number? 15. In the same formula, can you remove 9 and add 15? No, 15 is not the correct answer. I'm getting something else. Let me count it here. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Column number is 16. I think you are all counting from row ID. I told na, you should count from order ID. See, I'm getting product name. Column number is 16. Change 9 to 16. You will automatically get product name for all these order IDs. Okay. Everyone is getting same result. Hmm? Okay. Now, some people doesn't like VLOOKUP formula because they don't like to count these column numbers. No, there are two methods. For every problem, we will not have a solution. You have to logically come up with a solution, right? That's why I always tell in my entire data analytics training, technical training is one separate thing where there is a trainer who can sit and teach you, this is what the functionality and this is how it works. But the other part of the story which makes you successful is building problem solving skills, right? Now, to handle this problem, remembering column names, what solution we can give? Can you think of some problem solving skills here? So every time you have to remember the column number. For product name, it is 16. For city, it is column number 9. For order date, it is column number 2. Can you think about any solution where just by looking somewhere, you can make a note of for this one at a time? I can listen to one person at a time. Tell me, who wants to go first? Okay. Okay. Super. A typical engineering thinking. Okay. I know you are saying instead of column number, you will type the this alphabet letter. Huh? Let's assume even if ideally it's not possible, technically that formula will not support. Even if it is there, let's hypothetically assume it's there. How do you know that product name belongs to column Q? Again, you have to come to this sheet and search it. My question is, how do you automate that process? How do you quickly figure it out without again and again going to that sheet, figuring out what column is the number? Data validation. Okay. That's why I'm saying build problem solving skills, right? Work on different scenarios. You'll get some problem solving skills. Now, what I will do is I'm going to copy the entire column names starting from order ID. I'll select all the column names. Take a look at the screen. Somewhere I'll paste it using transpose function. Okay. Once I'm done with it, I'll just say this is column 1. Using our fill series, I'll enter the numbers. Now, if I want to fetch city, I know it is column number 9. If I want to fetch product name, it is 16. Let's say I want to fetch customer ID. It's column number 5. I don't even have to go to that sheet. I'll just type here 5. I got the customer ID. Clear? All these things are, it comes by experience. So it cannot be taught. You have to work on different scenarios, but this would be classified as problem solving skills. This is your method. This is one of the example. You can think of any other example. Okay. This is what typically we do as a data analyst. When we work, we generally get 200, 300 columns, 20 sheets. So we don't every time go and manually do it. We generally find for everything we find to automate it. As a developer, you have to always think about how you can automate it. Okay. As you go along, as you work with more data set, you will build this skill by yourself. But make a note of that, not just you're learning technical skills, you're also building personality development skills, which is communication, your problem solving skills, critical thinking. All this will give you extra mile for your career. Now, some people, this is option one. Second is some people doesn't like to use VLOOKUP formula because it has lot of limitations. So I just gave you some examples of limitation. It only works on forward direction. It will not work on reverse direction. This always remember the column number. That is also a limitation, right? You have to always remember the column number. Make sure you select entire table columns. That is also one more limitation. You have to every time make sure when you're selecting from beginning till end, you're selecting entire data. So many things are coming up with our VLOOKUP formula. Whatever these limitations you are seeing, the same limitations are also applied on HLOOKUP also. Both are one and the same formula, just that its data structure is different. Okay, that's it. But limitations is same with those two formulas. Now, to overcome with this kind of situation, Microsoft has also introduced a robust formula, which is XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP. Okay. This is one of the most preferable option according to me, but still, I see lot many data analysts will still use VLOOKUP, though they know it's a limitation, but they have the habit of using that VLOOKUP. They don't want to switch to anything else. But know that compared to VLOOKUP, we have something called XLOOKUP where there are no limitations. There are no limitations. First, what we'll understand is how to write XLOOKUP, then we'll compare what are the benefits and advantages of that. Okay. Let me just add some couple of columns here. Let's say I want to fetch the same customer ID, whatever we are fetching with VLOOKUP, I want to fetch same customer ID with the help of XLOOKUP. Okay. How does XLOOKUP work? Is equal to XLOOKUP. Again, parameters are important here. First thing is lookup value. What do you want to search? I want to search this order ID, comma. Where is this information available? It's in order sheet. You don't have to select entire column. The entire from left to right, you don't have to select anything. You have to only select which is the lookup column, only that column. Okay. Lock the cell, comma. If this order ID is found, what do you want in return? I wanted customer ID in return. So where is customer ID? It's here. Only select that column. Lock the cell, close the bracket. That's it.
And match is behalf of
This will be whichever column you want in result set, select only that column. Okay. That's obviously you will get same way because I am fetching from XLOOKUP. Na. You want different result. Huh? See, you want to go to airport. Going to airport is important. How you are going? You are going by walk. You are going by helicopter. You can even go by bus. Means of transport can be anything. You can try this also, this also. That's why I said in beginning, some people doesn't like VLOOKUP, they go for XLOOKUP. Now I'll explain one by one what are the advantages. Can you go ahead and write this formula? One student asked me, sir, what is the automation we can do for locking the cell? Too much of reverse engineering, right?
CSE students will be there, no? Lecturer, professor, they will learn something on textbook, they'll come. They don't know full of that subject. These people will ask stupid question and they leave professor fine.
But in data analytics, there is nothing which we can read books and come. It's all about scenarios. Even I may not be able to write formula when I come up with some scenario which I would have never seen it. I have to, maybe I need some more time to go through that. Data is like an ocean, okay? So nobody is an expert in data analytics. Even a guy with 1 year experience can sometimes be better than somebody who's 15 years experience. It's all depend upon your problem solving skills, the kind of data you work with, right? Also, the most important thing is your brain. If you have enough Complan and Horlicks in your childhood with a lot of badam, then you are smart enough, huh? Okay, done. XLOOKUP. To do it little faster, I'll show you one real-time example. I have asked Ashwit to share you one file. That's a real-time example for one of the projects. Real means real only, okay? Real means really there is one guy who has sat and handled that scenario in an Excel sheet. There was some XYZ client who has shared that data, and I want you guys to think of a solution for that problem. Is it working? XLOOKUP is working. Okay. One advantage of XLOOKUP is there are not too many parameters. In our VLOOKUP, we have to type the column number, exact match kill is 0 and all those things. Here it is simpler, right? Only 3 parameters.
What is the difference indirect and match in this one?
Yeah, will come because indirect and match they haven't seen it, right?
Okay,
First I'll
okay.
show it and then. Okay, shall we go to the next one? In order sheet, is it done or you're still doing it? Doing it? Okay. Please do it a little faster. You have selected C, which is order date. You should select B. Hmm? Order ID is present in column B now. You are selecting order date as a lookup table. Done. What I will do now is just to show this one example, I will put customer ID before order ID. You remember I told VLOOKUP is a forward direction formula, right? Now I am putting reverse direction data to test if XLOOKUP will work. Okay. What I have done is I have copied that same order ID before or here, right? I have made that as a first column. Now this is my lookup. Before lookup column, my some other information is present. Generally, VLOOKUP does not work. You have to put this column on right side, only then it works. Let's see if XLOOKUP will work in this scenario. So what I will do is equal to XLOOKUP. This is what the order ID you want to search for, comma. Where is the information available? It's available in this column. Log this cell. If this order ID is found, I want customer ID, which is on the left hand side. I'm again selecting the same column which I want in result. Lock the cell, close the bracket. You get the same results with XLOOKUP. That is the advantage of XLOOKUP, which means for XLOOKUP, it doesn't care if your data is on right side, left side, it doesn't care. You can still fetch it. That is your second advantage. I'll just write it here as XLOOKUP reverse direction. Okay, that is another advantage. There is one more advantage to it. What if my data is not vertical, if my data is horizontal? You remember in our first, when we started this session, we had horizontal data. For that, we had to write HLOOKUP. What now I'll do is I'll paste this data. Since this data is in vertical format, I'm going to paste this data in horizontal format. How do you paste it? Control C, right click, transpose. Now, same data set is available in horizontal format. Don't worry if you are not able to read it. It's anyways difficult to read horizontal data. Now let's see how we can write same XLOOKUP formula on horizontal data set. You don't have to write another formula here. Give the column name as XLOOKUP for horizontal data is equal to XLOOKUP. I want to search this order ID. Data is present in this sheet. This is where my order ID is. Lock the cell. If this order ID is found, let's say I want city. So I'm going to select the entire city column, lock the cell, close the bracket. Right? Even if the data is horizontal, my XLOOKUP still works. This is the primary reason why they call it as XLOOKUP. In VLOOKUP, it is only vertical. In H, it is only horizontal. But XLOOKUP works both vertical and horizontal. That's why it's called as X. That's why it happens, right? Evolution. First in India, we are having bullock cart for a transport of communication, right? Then slowly we came it cycle. Then two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler. Starting only if we say why we didn't add four-wheeler. It's evolution. Like today you are learning XLOOKUP. Once you complete data analytics, you will not even write XLOOKUP. That is your evolution. Clear on the XLOOKUP part of it? Shall we go to the next advantage of it? If you look at that second record, it says NA. Wherein in our VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, we had to write one more formula which says if error, and then nest that in that another formula, add it and handle that error. Here we don't have to do anything. What you have to do is if you want to handle this any error and you want to call it as value not found, what we'll simply do is in the end we'll give comma. There is one more parameter says if not found. If this value is not found, what do you want to call? I'll say value not found. Okay. This is the third advantage of XLOOKUP. Can you go ahead and write value not found wherever you have already written XLOOKUP formula? In the end, just give comma and give value not found. See if it works.
VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and XLOOKUP. And you said that most of the people do use in data analytics is VLOOKUP. So may I know the reason? Like it is a person choice or it is?
It is individual's choice actually. Right. So I have asked this question for many of the developers who are is using VLOOKUP. I asked them why they don't use XLOOKUP. It's because they already have a practice of writing VLOOKUP more. So they don't want to, invest time in again using XLOOKUP. They have already had good level of knowledge in VLOOKUP. They are okay to write another formula in VLOOKUP using if error and all. They have got the hands on. Another thing is some people don't have Excel, which is greater than 2019 version. XLOOKUP is introduced in 2019. So if you are using any Excel, which is 2016, then its formula is not there. That is also another reason why some people won't use it. Okay. Yeah. Done. Is it working for you? Value not found. And then we have one more parameter here, match mode. So how do you want to search this information? Every letter to letter, it should do a proper match. Then you can select as exact match. Comma. There is one more parameter. How do you want to search this data? You want to search from top to bottom or bottom to top? Anyway, the results are same, but know that this is a performance benefit. Sometimes if your data is in extreme bottom, you can select last to first. But not, it's all, these are all optional parameters. If you want, you can select it, or else you can leave it as is. Example, you have imagine 1 million records. Okay, and generally you are trying to find some of the latest orders. Latest orders are available in generally bottom, no? Old orders are in top, latest orders in bottom. Probably sometimes your Excel, when you work with bigger data set, it takes more time to show the answer because your data is more. That time you can use search bottom to first, bottom to top, so that results will be much faster. Okay. Clear on XLOOKUP? So in total lookup formulas, we have learned VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP. Okay, we'll take a break for 5 minutes, and once we are back, yeah. As of now, we are working on like this kind of, that is our bread and butter. Every day we have to write this formula. These are all very basic data set. We work with lot more complex data sets. It depends. It's not necessary that you will also handle complex data. At our projects which we work, we are basically called a center of excellence team. So we are experts in all this. So we will get a lot of complex data sets. You will get something like this, which I have showed, right? All these examples. That's why I'm trying to build strong, examples for you. So when you are learning formulas, you're working with real-time data sets. These are all real-time examples. Sample Superstore is one of the best way to learn data analytics. Yes, when you join, this is how you get requirements. Okay, so we'll take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Whoever has joined online, please take a break for 5 minutes.
Recording stopped.
Exactly, the purpose is the order.
Order date ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಂತ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಮೇಲ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಮ್ಮ VLOOKUP ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಬಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಹೋಮ್ ಇವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೇಕಿರೋದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇಕು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಬೇಕು ಯಾವ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಸರಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಹೋಗು ಫುಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಫುಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಸಿಟಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡ ಸಿಟಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ ಸಿಟಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ನಂಬರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇದು ಒಂದು ತಗೊಂಬರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಒಂದು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಹೇಳೋ ಸೀರೋ ಏನ್ ಸೀರೋ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನಗೆ ಚೀಲ ಈ ಸೀರೋ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ 9 ಹಾಕೋ ಸೀರೋ ತೆಗ್ದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ 9 ಹಾಕೋ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನೇಮ್ ಅಂತ Zero accumulated. Okay, akan berapa? Kena, bentang. Ya, ini dikenalin jadi. Saya akan jadi. Kerana itu cuma bertang. Ini tinggi banget. Ini tinggi banget lama ni. Ini kan.
Yeah. And we can see the refineries. Those were formula. Was the. That's good. That's good. We are turning skills. With this.
Your first time, no, but
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah. You know. Sorry, not. Just. Before. Hello. ಏನಾಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಹ್ಮ್. ಹ್ಮ್.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we are back from break. Okay, shall we move to the next one? Can you check in your Excel if you have a column called index, formula called index?
Yes, Vikram, I have.
Is there? Okay. Fine. So far, what you have learned is one of the most important formulas, either VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. Become proficient in any one of them. Okay. Now, there are additional lookup formulas. It works on every scenario to scenario. Okay. This one is called as index formula. Generally, we use this formula where we don't have anything called, lookup value. So what we want basically here is we know the row number and column number, and we want to fetch the value by row number and column number. For an example, let's go to our orders data set. From this entire data set, I want to fetch row number 20, column number 5, right? So if you count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is this value, standard class. So here column number is 5 and row number is 20. So I want to fetch this value. So I only know two things here, row number and column number. So what I'll do now is I'll write is equal to index. First thing it is asking is array. Generally in Excel, when you ever see this parameter called array, table array, database, it means where is your data available. So what we are going to do is we are going to select this entire data. Control Shift right arrow and down arrow. Comma. Row number is 20. Column number is 5. You can see that value has been fetched successful. Always remember, index function is generally helpful when you don't have lookup values. We only want to fetch value by row number and column number, okay, which is called as cell address. Always prefer to go for index form. Can you go ahead and try this?
Vikram, can you please explain again? I missed it.
Yeah, if you ever have a requirement where there is no lookup value, like common column is not available in any of the sheet, what you have is only row number and column number. Row number 35, column number 7. So just type row number and column number as a parameter here. Whatever the value stored,